Namaskar and a hearty warm good morning to one and all of you present over here for the oath-taking ceremony of 50 newly recruited civil judges of 2021 batch. It's a privilege and opportunity for all of us to be in the august presence of Dr. Justice S. Muralidhar, Honorable the Chief Justice, High Court of Orissa, and Patron-in-Chief, Odisha Judicial Academy, who is an institution in himself, an astounding personality, who has carved a niche for himself and created an indelible mark in his field. As the Honorable Chief Guest of this momentous occasion, along with Honorable Judges, High Court of Orissa, respected Registrar General, respected members of the Registry, esteemed invitees, guests, ladies and gentlemen, who have graced this event both physically and virtually, making this occasion glorious and monumental. At the outset, I, Srimati Swapna Sagarika Misra, Deputy Director of Odisha Judicial Academy, welcome you all to the Chief Justice Gati Krushna Misra Auditorium of Odisha Judicial Academy. May I now solicit our Chief Guest, Dr. Justice S. Muralidhar, Honorable the Chief Justice, High Court of Orissa, and Patron-in-Chief of Odisha Judicial Academy to accord kind permission to declare the function open. Thank you, my Lord. The function is declared open. As we begin, may I now request Honorable Dr. Justice Sanjeev Kumar Panigrahi, Judge High Court of Orissa and member of Odisha Judicial Academy and Training Committee, to kindly deliver the welcome address. My Lord, please.
Namaskar. Good morning, everybody. Honorable Dr. Justice S. Muralidhar, the Chief Justice of Odisha High Court, Justice Talpatra, Chairman of the Judicial Academy and Training Committee, Justice Shashikant Misra, member of the Judicial Academy and Training Committee, Justice B. Nursing, member of the committee, Justice Gauri Shankar Satpathy, member of the committee, my esteemed brother and sister judges, Director Judicial Academy, Registrar General and all officers of the Judicial Academy and all the officers present from the Registry of Odisha High Court. My dear trainee judges and their parents, family members present here. I, on behalf of the Odisha Judicial Academy and High Court of Orissa, and my own self, congratulate you all for your success in qualifying the OJS examination and extend a warm welcome to this grand induction ceremony. I am tasked with the ritual of delivering a welcome speech, which is a speech to show warmth and gratitude to those who are here to mark their presence. It is with great honor I speak to you this morning to welcome you most cordially. District Judiciary is the pillar of our judicial system and the first interface of a citizen with the judiciary. So you are going to be the first interface of the citizen of the state. While India's citizens have their second thought about government's action, they still have trust in our country's legal system, which is useful for the well-being and endurance of the great Indian democracy. The credibility of the judicial institution and the confidence of the people in the justice delivery system depend upon the way the judicial officers and judges conduct themselves inside and outside the court. You occupy an important place in the society and public treat the judges with reverence. The extraordinary power invested in the judges demands a high standard of behavior. Therefore, the litigant has a right to demand impeccable character from the judges. As judge, you should have professional competence and integrity. You should be patient, dignified towards the advocates, litigants, and other persons whom you come into contact. But at the same time, you have to be firm in dealing with your unruly and disrespectful situations. You must always strive for the highest standard of integrity in both professional and personal lives. You must always keep in mind that the justice that you administer must be according to law and not according to your individual sense of justice. A training institute like this does concentrate on providing an opportunity to update your knowledge both on judicial and administrative side. A judicial officer or any other judge for that matter is always a learner. Even the lawyer also, they are always a learner. Therefore we call it a practice. You become old, still you practice, because every day you are learning. The same way the judges also learn every day. Just because we know something, it is not safe to presume there is nothing more to be learned. Law is an ocean. Person should be a good human being. The same also applies to the judges. And polite and courteous. He should be human, but at the same time he should be firm. If you do not keep pace with the march of law by keeping yourself abreast with the decisions of High Court and Supreme Court, you will be committing grave errors in disposal of while you dispose the case, which necessitates the litigant public to carry the matter in appeal or revision, or it will lead to multiplicity of litigation. If the judgments are given in accordance with the latest decision and correct decision, normally an advocate will advise the client not to file an appeal or revision. Updating of knowledge will create a good impression in the minds of the members of the bar about an officer. Some judicial officers like district judges have to perform administrative function also. When you just go in the ladder of your promotion, you have to perform the administrative function also. So administrative efficiency is also a very important aspect of a judge. So something which you learn from watching from your superior officers, also some bit of training is imparted here in this academy. If an officer is found to be lacking in administrative efficiency, the member of the staff will try to take advantage of the weakness of an officer. It is very essential that a judicial officer should also be conversant with administrative functions of the court. If the members of the staff come to know that you know the fundamentals of administrative functions, then they would keep themselves within their limits and you can successfully handle them by virtue of your administrative efficiency. It is stated in Hindu mythology that a swan bird is capable to separate the milk from the water, and it would drink the milk alone, thus symbolizing the prudence and discrimination between good and bad. I request you all to imbibe that quality in you. Speaking at a felicitation function organized by the Supreme Court Bar Association, Justice Chandrachud recently said, I think we have fostered a culture of subordination. We call our district judiciary as subordinate judiciary. I make a conscious effort not to call district judges as subordinate judges because they are not subordinates. They belong to district judiciary. So I call you district judiciary, member of district judiciary, not subordinate judiciary. Judicial education with blending with modern technology is one of the most effective and perhaps indispensable means for enhancing the fair administration of justice. Every judicial officer is bound to learn the technology, because today without technology our judicial system cannot function. It will be like a lamb. The problem of our legal system are awesome but not unsurmountable. I don't want to elaborate on the way of your induction and before you. Even my suggestion can go on ad infinitum and nuisance. But in one line I would again say, a judge must hear courteously, answer wisely, consider soberly, and decide impartially. I am sorry for breaching the commandment, thou shalt always make precise speech, but I have slightly cross that preciseness. As you step out of the portal of the academy, our wishes and prayers, our blessings and suggestions are with you. You are the base of our judicial pyramid. Be strong and brave to uphold the judiciary. God bless you. Jai Hind.
Thank you, my lord, for the warm and heartfelt welcome extended. May I now request Honorable Sri Justice Subhasis Talpatra, Judge High Court of Orissa, Chairman of Odisha Judicial Academy and Training Committee, to kindly enlighten us on the objective of training. My lord, please.
A warm good morning. It's a wonderful winter morning, and I'm very happy seeing 50 odd, because there's one also is there, newly inducted civil judges, and they will be the future of the Orissa's district judiciary. I welcome you all in the academy, and I would like to start with by the words Justice Sanjeev Panigrahi has concluded. These are the words of the great wise man of the Socrates, that how a judge should behave inside the court and outside the court, in his personal life and his professional life. But my topic is something different. To curve out such judge is the purpose of the training. That you come out straight from the law schools. Because of this 2002, the All India Judges Association case versus Union of India, all the rules of recruitment has gone a serious change, and that is why you are directly inducted in the judicial service. Earlier, at least 3 years experience in the bar was essential. For the object of the training, I must refer back to this All India Judicial Judges Association case where the Supreme Court said, since we are obliterating the 3 years experience, we must compensate those who will be newly recruited. And that is the purpose of the judicial training, to compensate that deletion of the experience in the bar. So if we look from this looking glass, that you will find that what is the experience in the bar that is so important for a judicial officer, the civil judges? Because you are to continuously negotiate with the members of the bar in the courtroom proceeding. You must know how they behave and what they intend to present before you. Their histrionics, their way of presenting their arguments. Sometimes the courtroom situation becomes so hotted up that you find himself in a corner that how to handle it, because you do not have that experience at the bar. You have not seen the judges having the huge experience and the repositories experience for a long career, because you did not go to this court after passing out of the judicial school. Most of you, maybe some of they are there. So the Supreme Court judgment just mandated all the high courts in particular to institute a training for 1 hour mandatorily those who have not attended the bar. So this is the object, but this cannot be the object of a training. What is training stands for? Before this All India Judges Association's case, there is a reference to the National Law Commission that how the judges should be trained more to enhance their efficiency, to enhance their effectiveness in the system. And you all know, those who have come straight from the law school, 117th report of the Law Commission, which was headed by Justice D.A. Desai, studied the experience throughout the country, and they found at the relevant point of time the only one training institute existed in the country for training of the judges, that is in the Northeast India. So thereafter it became an institution now. Now in all the states they have the State Judicial Academy, we have a National Judicial Academy at Bhopal. Those academies, State Judicial Academy and the National Judicial Academy, is working in tandem to impart this training so that you become a very, very effective judge. You does know the law. you, as a judge, also does know where the law is. But beyond that, there are so many things you have to learn. Judicial academies give you the clinical side of the law. What is the clinical side? I find Dr. Ram is here, is in our the dispensary in the High Court. After they passes the MBBS course as a medical students, they are mandatorily put to an internship for 1 year. That is part of their education. At that point of time, they are allowed to handle the patient, allowed to be abreast of the critical situation where the human lives in a serious condition, because that is beyond their text. They are just allowed to apply their knowledge. The training is just the visualize the day one you are holding the court. You have the knowledge of the everything, Transfer of Property Act, Code of Civil Procedure, everything you have read. But now a counsel comes before you say that I require the attachment, even the degree is passed. Do you know how to pass such order? Were you taught in the law schools that this order should be passed in this way? But this is the day one you have to pass the order because you are the only judge in that court. Like in High Court, we have the division bench. And in the yesteryears, some district courts also having the division bench. Now that has been obliterated completely in 1956. So you have to equip itself through the processes. The faculties will be train you and training you through the different courses. They will show you how to apply the law in a situation, how to apply the interpretation of the Supreme Court judgment, that you are bound by those as a precedent, as the authoritative law under Article 141. So this is a very grueling process in one way, and you have to bear with it to earn the ease of business. The first day will be on the chair of a judge. So it is a very serious affair. That one or two things I will touch. This is not to tell what is the object. That you must understand that you know certain statutes, laws and other things, and above everything is the constitutional philosophy. And you must imbibe yourself in the constitutional philosophy of the equality of status in particular. I have visited so many courts during the tenure as a judge of the High Court. I have seen that when someone appearing before your court as a litigant with a good attire, he attracts your best attention. The person who already with the tattered dresses appears before your court, who needs the justice the most, he doesn't get the equal attention of a judge. This is where the constitution will come in. When a litigant, irrespective of his social status, visits a courtroom, the number one responsibility that you owe, that you must feel, this particular judge doesn't discriminate me in the dispensing the treatment to me as a litigant. There are a lot of things you will come across. A differently able person who visited your courtroom, he cannot stand up. And your court peon doesn't know what to do. The moment you watch that person litigant, it will be your duty to provide him a chair to sit. This is the constitutional sensibility you must inculcate yourself. These are not written anywhere. We will be discussing this during the process of that. Then, of course, as a judge, what is the fundamental duty? You have been taught in the law schools, I believe, the justice is the core of Indian Constitution. And you are the professionals who have been given the power to deliver the justice through a particular process. But what kind of a justice? You must remember the justice political we perhaps cannot do in all the spheres. but the justice, social and economic, we have to do. That is our fundamental duty as the judge. Justice Desai, in his report, as I was just referring to, in the concluding paragraphs, he was commenting that why Umrat committee, that is the first committee who just weighed all the possibilities of the judicial training in UK, cannot be accepted in toto in Indian situation. He says that we need to expand it more. Why? We have different justice tradition in our countries. We have to forge a stream that is in accordance and in consonant with the constitutional philosophy. So this is where you have to be equipped yourself. And these equipments can only be provided to you by this institutionalized training. That is the purpose of training. And I think it is a very serious affair. We will be trying to do our best. And I just reminded, and Justice Muralidhar may also share with me, that when Professor Menon was in the helm of the affairs of the National Judicial Academy, he started a unique project, how to read a judgment. The critical analysis of the judgment, Supreme Court judgment, or a very important judgment of a particular High Court. A judgment is a very three important parts. A judgment has its background. Background means the judicial precedents. A judgment has a philosophy of the judge itself, and judgment has an opinion on the fact situation or the materials which are the part of the dispute, how it has been decided. This is a process. A book was published by Professor Menon in the National Judicial Academy. If you had the opportunity, I believe you understand that the conventional way we look at the judgment is not the best suited way to look at the judgment. Look at the judgment with a clinical mind. Look at the judgment with the forensic eyes. And every word you try to understand, why this word has been used. Every word we say, it reflects and portrays our character, portrays our socio-cultural thinking, thoughts. So that in a judgment you get the history of not only the dispute, history of the judicial process, though in a very short compass. So these are the aspects we all deal with the judicial process, apart from the regular, the curriculum that we follow, refreshing your mind, reorient you about these other things. There are local procedural these laws that you have to handle as a judge. Everything will be introduced to you, and above all, how to write a judgment. This is a completely new subject to you. So you must know how to write a judgment, how to write an order, in what stage, what order, how to develop a docket, to take it to the end when you will deliver the final observation in a dispute. These are the processes we all must know. I just remind you, is in a lighter vein, when the Federal Judicial Center as USA was conceptualized, the US government, the federal government denied to fund it. Then the Supreme Court of US, in a different judgment, the necessity of the efficacy of the judicial institution in a democracy, they said the investment in the judicial training is an investment in the democracy. Because the fundamental, the means, when the democracy is always a debating process, so the people will come to you to get the justice. Think of a society where there is no judicial system. There will be the kangaroo courts, and the kangaroo courts are completely against the ethos of Indian Constitution. So what you are doing, you are contributing to a vibrant democracy as a judge, to protect it and to lay the path of this democracy. If your behavior, as Justice Panigrahi was pointing out, your behavior must be as a judge in a democracy. And that is what Constitution demands from us as a judge. And finally, I would say that when we are given the responsibility to do the justice, we must always bear in ourselves an anxiety to do the justice. And that is the whole purpose, to create that anxiety in you of this judicial training. I just greet you all and hope that you will enjoy the training, and through enjoyment you can learn the best. And when you go out of this judicial academy, you just garner that kind of a confidence that I adorn the chair now with confidence and with competence. Thank you all. Thank you very much.
May I now request Dr. Justice S. Muralidhar, Honorable the Chief Justice, High Court of Orissa and Patroning Chief, Odisha Judicial Academy, to kindly administer oath to the newly recruited 50 civil judges. My Lord, please.
I. You have to repeat your names, please. Do swear in the name of God. That I shall make every endeavor. To ensure dispensation of justice. Without fear or favor. That I shall maintain absolute integrity. Honesty and sincerity. That I shall hear patiently. Consider diligently. And decide justly. And I shall remain true to the oath. In discharging my duties. And obligations as a judicial officer.
Thank you, my Lord. I request all the civil judges to take their respective seats. May I now request Dr. Justice S. Muralidhar, Honorable the Chief Justice, High Court of Orissa and Patroning Chief, Odisha Judicial Academy, to release the training module 2022-23 of Odisha Judicial Academy, and may I also request all the honorable dignitaries on the dais to join His Lordship. Thank you, my Lord. May I now humbly request Dr. Justice S. Muralidhar, Honorable the Chief Justice, High Court of Orissa and Patroning Chief of Odisha Judicial Academy, to kindly address the august gathering. My Lord, please.
Namaskar, Pranam, Vande Utkala Janani. My esteemed colleagues on and off the dais, the Director Judicial Academy, the Secretary, Odisha State Legal Services Authority, the Registrar General and his team of registrars, deputy registrars, assistant registrars, Dr. Ram, all the proud parents of the young judicial officers who've today been inducted into the Odisha judiciary formally, and all other friends and relatives of such officers, ladies and gentlemen. Today is indeed a very happy day for these 50 judicial officers. In Sanskrit, you would have heard of this term, Aksharabhyasam. So when a very young child is born, we have a ceremony. Most of you have undergone that ceremony, most of us have undergone that ceremony. The child is actually indoctrinated, I would say, or inculcated into literary life, where you hear words, where you taught to write words. In fact, they hold the child's finger and make the child write on a heap of grain. It could be grain or rice or whatever. The feel of the word orally, and even the feel of the word with your finger. If you look at the entire judiciary, what you've stepped into today is that stage of Aksharabhyasam, where you are taking the first initial steps of entering this wonderful field. It's a field of learning. That's what it is first and foremost. Learning about other people's lives. Learning about people, about lives which may be completely different from yours. And this is a wonderful journey. If you look at it philosophically, every day you will not only learn about other people's lives, but you will learn of your own. And it's also an unraveling of yourself to yourself. So I think if you wake up every morning anticipating that today I'm going to learn something about life, you will find this journey very exciting, very rewarding. So don't begin this journey with the idea that you've got a job. So that's the wrong thing to start with. This is not a job which gives you a salary. That's one way of looking at it, of course. A salary which is much better than any one of your peers. And it is a job that is you strived for and you've got. That's one way of looking at it. But that's not the rewarding way of looking at it. Of course, you've struggled hard. You've done well in your studies. You've done well in your exams. You've done well in the interview. Some of us sitting here have interviewed you. And you've gone through the test. It's been a difficult, arduous process. We appreciate that very deeply. And many of us sitting in this room, including some of your own parents, have gone through this process of rigorous selection. But what is wonderful about this is this journey of life. Some of us have joined the judiciary after spending years at the bar. But even for some of us who thought we knew about life while we were at the bar, coming on this side, they say, this side of the court, the bench, has meant a new learning process. What we were looking at probably at 45 degrees, at 90 degrees, sometimes at 180 degrees. So now you're able to look at 360 degrees. So law has a very humbling effect on the person. The justice system has a very humbling effect on the person. Because every day you learn something new and you are able to see things in perspective. This will happen to you. It is inevitable for every judicial officer, for every judge in the system. It is inevitable that we also grow as the system grows, as the system evolves. We are part of that whole process. How you feel today about a certain issue is not the way you will feel, let's say, 2 years down the line, 5 years down the line, 10 years down the line. It is happening to judges day in and day out. So one thing we must be prepared to accept and must learn to accept is that we are bound to make mistakes. But what is most important is learning from those mistakes. If you stop to learn from the mistakes, then you've stopped to grow. Nobody is perfect in the system. The system itself is not perfect. The system is not an ideal system. Some rosters that you may have will be easy rosters. Some will be difficult rosters. Some courts you may handle may be easy courts. Some may be very difficult courts. Some courts will have the perfect ambience for you, some will not have the perfect ambience. Sometimes you will have colleagues who you get along with very well. Sometimes you may be in situations where you don't agree with your colleagues. You may find difficulties. You may have superiors to you in the system, which is bound to be there. It's a hierarchical system, whom you have difficulties. Or you may have people working for you, whose work you supervise, who may cause difficulties. But importantly, you should be aware that you yourself may be the cause of the difficulty. This is a very human system. Judicial system is a very human system. We must acknowledge that. We don't have perfect people. We don't have people with always the right answers. So we watch, we listen, and we try to better ourselves. So every day's mission must be, what have I learned today? And am I going to be better off than yesterday? When you enter a seat, a judicial seat, it comes with a lot of responsibility. So one thing that will change in your life when you sit in the court on the dais is that you'll suddenly find many people who are deferential to you, right? What you need to understand, and this is what a senior advocate, Mr. Kannabiran, who's no longer with us, he reminded many of us that when a person enters the court and does a slight bow, he's not bowing to you as the person, he's bowing to the chair of justice. Right? So there is a decorum for that chair, and there is a certain respect that the chair commands. And we must conduct ourselves that is consistent with the aura of that chair, with the respect that the chair commands. So when people bow to you, people are deferential to you, they are deferential to the seat which you hold. They may not be deferential to you as the person. So we all get into problems of ego, developing an ego, thinking they are very smart, that we are more powerful. When we make this fundamental error of thinking, we are the power, right? We are the seat. So this is something that you have to remind yourself constantly, because this is going to change. You suddenly have people bowing to you. You will have 10 others working for you who are very deferential to you, who will not speak against you, who will keep listening to all that you have to say. And you should not let it affect you as a person. And this is very, very important. You have to remind yourself, and this is not just at this stage, at every stage. You issue a summons to a police officer, he is bound to come to you and appear before you. If you start doing it too often, a problem might arise. How you behave to people around you, working for you, this is again very important. Of course, you have the power to, get them suspended or get them dismissed or get them transferred. You'll suddenly find that you have these kinds of powers. With judicial power comes great judicial responsibility. I would only give this advice, that this power that you have, this judicial power that you will begin to have, use it effectively in court proceedings while deciding cases. The minute you start using it outside the court proceedings, including your own personal life or the way you deal with subordinates, you will find a lot of problems arising. People respect judges a lot, even in society, even today. So you will find, oh, you're a judge, then you will find people treating you differently. I must lighten it up a bit for you. This is narrated by none other than Fali Nariman, the great doyen of the bar, the senior advocate. So Fali Nariman in 1972 was appointed as the Additional Solicitor General of India, which is a fairly a great recognition of a person's ability and talents as a lawyer. So he went to his grandmother and told her, I have a very good news. She said, what is the good news? He said, I've been appointed as Additional Solicitor General of India. She said, oh, it's very good news, but I'm waiting for the day you will be appointed as a magistrate. So in the common man's perception, being a judge is still something that commands a lot of respect. From their point of view, once you're a judge, they expect you to be fair. Even a tea vendor will expect a judge to be fair. Judge not to make mistakes. So it's that responsibility you begin to have. If suddenly you're traveling in the train, you're in the airport lounge, and they ask you who you are, what do you do, if suppose you say you're a judge, you will find them talking to you about the legal system, about a problem they're facing in court. And they will expect you to know the answers. They will expect you to be very fair. And many of them, I'm sure you'll all get told this. Some of us have got told this. You don't look like a judge. You're too young to be a judge. Really? At this age, they make judges? So these are very common responses from people that you will find. But the bottom line is they expect you to be fair. They expect you to be a easy-mannered, well-mannered, well-tempered person. They don't expect you to be rash. They don't expect you to get angry. They don't expect you to get very sad. These are all expectations people have. We have myth-making about judges. This is all part of that myth-making. Living up to those expectations is the tough job. You will say, I am a judge. I would like to have my puchka on the roadside. Why can't I have, right? Why can't I have a, dance freely? Why can't I sing? Why can't I shout? Why can't I scream? So there are many things you change about yourself as a judge. That during that period when you are a judge, sitting in the court, also conducting yourself. So this conducting yourself in public is again another challenge. Which is why with the social media, and you will get all these lectures in the Judicial Academy about how to restrain yourself in how not to expose yourself too much because of these expectations people have. As Justice Talapatra was saying, Justice Panigiri was saying, since you're going to be the first interface, you're also symbolizing the entire judiciary. Oh, you're a judge in Odisha. They will look at you to find out how the Odisha judiciary functions. So you suddenly become representative of the Odisha judiciary. That is again a responsibility. So you will learn all of this as you go along. Look around you, look for the best practices. Many are around you, many of us are not perfect human beings. We have our own predilections, we have our own idiosyncrasies, we have our weaknesses. That's one thing that the bar will expose you to. I don't know how many of you have had experience at the bar. In fact, this is something that worries some of us, that some of you are so young and you've not had enough exposure at the bar, you may not know how to handle the bar. But you will learn. Lawyers will teach you a lot of things provided you're prepared to learn, right? You must realize one thing in the Odisha bar as such, not many lawyers are doing very well economically, right? Many lawyers you will find are not even able to make enough to earn a decent sum on a monthly basis. Whereas you are very young, you're just about 27, 24, some of you are 25, 26. Very few, I don't think many of you are 30, maybe not. So you will find a gap between the lawyers appearing before you and yourself. It could be a cultural gap, like was mentioned, it could be a status gap. So lawyers will come with all kinds of predilections, right? They'll try to be aggressive, they'll find you very young and demure, they'll think they can overpower you. But how you conduct yourself in a most dignified manner will communicate to the lawyer, who may be very aggressive, who you are. So lawyers have a way of teaching you about the bar, about the case, about the law, both the right things and the wrong things. You have to learn to choose what you will believe, how you will, as much as you assess the lawyer is also assessing you. So one of my colleagues in Delhi High Court said, it is a judge who is on trial. And it's partially true. It's the judge who is on trial. Initially, the lawyers are sizing you up. The lawyer will immediately find out what is it that makes you happy. What is that which irritates you? And what are your, weaknesses? It's very natural because I'm coming with my case to you and it's invariably not an easy case. It is a difficult case. It is about somebody's mistake made or some justice denied. So how do I communicate to you and are you in a position to receive what I communicate? See, this is the first thing that the lawyer will ask, right? So how equanimous you are, what is your state of mind, how you conduct yourself, your body language, everything is on display, right? You're sitting there on the dais, you become an open book for people to read, to analyze, to study. You cannot help that. But how you prepare yourself for that exercise is very important. So 3 things: physical well-being, mental well-being, emotional well-being. See, the lawyer will come in, argue the case, go out and vent his frustration or enjoy the success or whatever. The judge doesn't have that luxury. This has been a well argued case. You think you've done justice. Next case is a very badly argued case. You've lost your cool. The third case, you've not understood what is being argued. There is no option to just get up after a case, disappear for an hour and come back. Because case after case is going to get called out and you have to start dealing with it one after the other. So this composure, this is what all the training in the academy is going to be about. And your life as a judge is going to be about maintaining the composure. Morning you wanted to get up at, let's say, 6:30. Your alarm didn't go off. You wake up, it's already 7:30. You're in a panic. Everything is going wrong that day. Your tea is also tasting bad. The geyser has not worked. Your person who's supposed to pick you up has not come in time. Your child is crying. Your husband is in a bad mood. Your parents are very ill and tense. So you could have made many personal issues in life, in your family. But once you sit in court, you're supposed to drop all that. That's the challenge. That's the real challenge. You're sitting, you're hearing a matrimonial case. Your sisters come back after a very bad marriage. Her husband's family have treated her very badly. This man is asking for anticipatory bail. First thought, all these men are like this. Look at the trouble my sister went through. I know all this, what the lawyer is arguing about how innocent this husband is in this case. I'm not going to believe all that. Problem, serious problem. He doesn't know that your sister had a bad marriage. The client is expecting you to be a fair judge. Right? An impartial judge. The word impartial. So all this oath that you took without fear or favor, this is internal fear. It's not external fear so much. External fear one can handle. Somebody is threatening you, you will tell the district judge, he will tell the High Court, the police will be told. External threats can be dealt with. Somebody is trying to extend you a favor, you will recuse from the case, saying somebody has approached me. Right? Or you will report it. But internal fears, internal predilections, I have a problem with very dark-skinned people. Why? It's just that. From childhood, I have a problem with dark-skinned people. I have a problem with people who are very short. I have a problem with people who are very tall. I have a problem with people who are heavy. I have a problem with people who are too thin. Witness is standing in the box. He's not able to speak properly. I have a problem with that. He's not able to recall correctly. I have a problem with that. So all your internal predilections only you know. The other person does not know. It will be brought out in the way you write your orders, you write your judgment. Your internal predilections will expose you. How to overcome those internal predilections. That's very, very important. You're very irritated with this lawyer. Every day he comes and shouts. Every day he makes a misleading statement. The minute the lawyer comes in itself, you know, my God, this lawyer. Right? But he's coming for a different case. The lawyer has entered the court, but actually the case has entered the court. The lawyer is speaking, actually his client is speaking. The client has a good case, this lawyer is spoiling the case. The lawyer is misleading the court. You're very angry with this lawyer. You say dismissed. The lawyer is not going to bother. Of course, he will be upset that he lost his case, but he's got some 5 other cases and tomorrow again he's going to come before you. What you've dismissed because of the lawyer irritating you is the client's case. So the challenge is, you will not allow the bad argument of a lawyer to spoil a good case. This is again a challenge. It's a challenge that each of us faces, even in the High Court. Some lawyers are excellent, very articulate. And we are prepared to listen to them. This is a lawyer who will know his case, know his facts. Actually, he's got a very bad case. You're not supposed to admit that case at all, but the lawyer is very good. I respect the lawyer a lot. I've seen him in the bar. He's a very senior person. So even if his case is bad, I will say adjourned. I will say, tell the other side, examine this. I will not dismiss it. Again, fear or favor, affection or ill will. So as a judge, this balance that we keep, have a smiling face, have a calm demeanor, but do justice in that case. Because ultimately you're not doing justice to the lawyer. You're not justice, to persons who are appearing. You have to go beyond that. For which you must be in command of the law. You must be in command of the facts, which is by preparing before you enter the court. If you have time, go through the papers before you enter the court. After some time, if you're in the same roster, certain patterns will emerge. But if you will be one up, you will not allow the lawyer to mislead you if you just familiarize yourself with the case before the case is presented to you. Familiarize yourself with the law. Today it's remarkable. I don't know how many of you have seen this judge in Connecticut. Have you seen that? There's one judge in Connecticut. His cases, you just put that in the YouTube. You will get a lot of his hearings. His court is live streamed. And he deals with very petty offenses, traffic offenses and those kinds of things. Just see how he conducts the court. It's remarkable. How he makes eye contact with people before him. How he asks questions to elicit the character of a person, the social standing of a person, the circumstances surrounding a person. Everybody is not a criminal, right? Somebody is accused of a crime. So this distinction between a person accused of a crime or charged with a crime and a criminal, you will get to know those distinctions if you watch these proceedings. The true character of the person before the court is coming out. You're going to be serving in Orissa. 80% of the population of those entering the courts, you can confidently state, is in the economically weaker section or socially weaker section. You will have very innocent tribals accused of very grave crimes coming before you. They may be witnesses, they may be victims, they may be accused. How do you deal with them? So how much do you know about Orissa? You've grown up in Bhubaneswar, you've grown up in Cuttack, you've grown up in Berhampur. How much do you know about Neopada? How much do you know about Nabarangpur? How much do you know about the northern tip in Keonjhar district? How do you know about the populations there in Malkangiri? In the judiciary again, there is no difficult posting, there is no easy posting. You will find all this jargon when you talk to your seniors. They'll say, oh, you've gone to transfer to Malkangiri. Very sad, very sad. Nothing sad. Absolutely nothing sad about going to Malkangiri. When you go to Malkangiri, you'll say, my God, I did not know this is Orissa. Apart from, of course, being beautiful location. I don't know how many of you have been to Malkangiri. I've been fortunate to go there. But people, you get to see people who lead different lives, who live lives very close to nature. Suddenly you will find that they are far more sensible than we urbanites in cities. They've sorted out their lives. They know how to live with nature. You don't know how to live with nature. Today I can't sleep unless I keep seeing laptop till 1 in the night and 2 in the night, right? Many of you must be sleeping very late. All that has to change and will change. Your life will have to be very disciplined. Take each posting, each task that is allotted to you as an opportunity. Every challenge is an opportunity. Just like there is no good case, bad case, there is no good posting, bad posting. Everything is an opportunity to learn. Everything is an opportunity to grow. If you have that attitude, you will enjoy your period as a judge. Accept your fallibilities, but learn from them, improve, look for the best practices around you, and see how you can go forward as a judge. You will also have to combine many tasks. You will have to do managerial tasks at a very personal level. I talked to you about personal discipline. Unless you are disciplined, you don't come to court on time, you don't sit on the dais at the allotted hour, your staff will get indisciplined. People working for you will be indisciplined. If you are disciplined, if you come on time, your staff will be on time. If you do your work sincerely, the staff is bound to do its work sincerely. That's how the system works. They look to the boss. How is the boss? They say, no, put your mouth where the money is, or walk the talk. You've heard these phrases. Walking the talk means you lead by example. So you bring in managerial skills, get the best out of people around you working for you, find out how to encourage them to work better, how to incentivize with them, like sitting with them and having a cup of tea once a month. Just talk to your staff. Make them feel easy. Make them want to work for you, not running away from you. Some of them, you can see them running away from you. Either they're too scared of you or they find you too impossible to handle. You don't want that. There's a purpose. Unless they work for you, you cannot work well. Right? You cannot do all their tasks. You have enough tasks to do. So this is another challenge. You will also be asked to help the whole system, the judicial system on administrative side, which will bring different tasks to the fore. You will be a legal services authority secretary. Again, different tasks. You have to reorient yourself all the time. Now, if you look at this as, oh my God, this is something impossible, then you will not enjoy it at all. Suppose you say, no, this is a new challenge. Let me see if I have the talent for this. If I don't, let me see how I can learn. So it's not just about being a judge, but in the frame of mind of a student. That's the best way to be, because the world is out there rich in its offerings. What you choose to pick, what you choose to follow is entirely in your hands. Look for the best practices, follow those best practices, and keep your balance all the time. Many of your parents are here today and they are very, very proud that you've reached this far. This is the beginning. It's a wonderful journey. It's a good time to be in Odisha judiciary. A lot of things are happening. A lot of changes are happening. Technology is being used in a big way. Issues come with all societies. Societies are growing differently. There are newer challenges before society. And the closer you are connected with society, the better you will be in a position to handle those challenges. People are going to come into court with their problems, right? They must go away from the court feeling less burdened about their problems. Nobody should leave the court saying, my God, why did I come into the court? Nobody should want to leave the court saying, I hate this place. I don't want to come back here again. Correct? You cannot always control it. It will all depend on what happens in a case. But at least from your point of view, try your best to make your court a welcoming place and a place where people don't feel negative because of the court itself, about the way the judge behaves, about the way the staff behaves. These are all irritants. We have various ways of mitigating these things, and let us do that. Okay. So have a great, wishing you a very, very happy and a good career as a judge. It's a wonderful journey that you've begun. It's a journey with a lot of hope and expectation. And I'm sure you will be able to meet those expectations. The people of Orissa are expecting that their judiciary works for them. This is a public institution. It is funded by the public. You've heard of the word crowdsourcing. This is actually crowdsourced. Every person with his little tax that he has paid, either directly or indirectly, is contributing to all the money that comes in from where salaries are paid to all of you. So you are actually a crowd-funded institution. You're part of that. You're always answerable to the public. They have a great expectation of you. And try your best to meet those expectations. All the best to all of you. Congratulations. Jai Hind.
Thank you, my lord, for the wonderful words of wisdom and encouragements. I am sure all of us must have been immensely benefited from the non-parallel verse of erudition. After this wonderful deliberation, may I request respected Additional Director, Odisha Judicial Academy, to propose the vote of thanks.
Namaskar and warm wishes of the day to one and all present here in this magnificent Chief Justice Gati Krushna Misra Auditorium of Odisha Judicial Academy. I am indeed privileged, deeply honored and thankful to the Honorable Chair to have got this opportunity to propose a vote of thanks in this oath-taking ceremony. At the outset, I express my profound gratitude and heartfelt regards to Dr. Justice S. Muralidhar, the Honorable Chief Justice of High Court of Orissa and the Patron-in-Chief of Odisha Judicial Academy, who is the Chief Architect and the pivot of judiciary in the state of Odisha. On behalf of this august House, I propose a vote of thanks to His Lordship for not only being an ideal mentor, but a true friend, philosopher, and guide to all of us who has taken us to new heights. We profoundly thank you, my Lord, for your benign presence and encouraging words of wisdom. I express my heartfelt gratitude and thanks to Honorable Sri Justice Subhasis Talpatra, Judge, High Court of Orissa, and Chairman, Odisha Judicial Academy and Training Committee, for leading us from the front and for giving us constant guidance and inputs in order to make this event a grand success and for the best training possible in Odisha Judicial Academy. Thank you, Lord, my Lord, for your valuable involvement, encouragement, and support. I also express my gratitude and propose a vote of thanks to Honorable Dr. Justice Sanjeev Kumar Panigrahi, Honorable Sri Justice Sasikanta Misra, Honorable Sri Justice V. Narsingh, Honorable Sri Justice Gauri Shankar Satpathy, Judges of the High Court of Orissa, and the members of Odisha Judicial Academy and Training Committee for their guidance, encouragement, and constant support. We are deeply honored to have amongst us the Honorable Judges of the High Court of Orissa. I propose my vote of thanks to all the Lordships and Her Ladyship for their gracious presence despite their busy schedule to encourage the newly recruited civil judges. I extend my vote of thanks to all the respected family members of the newly recruited civil judges on probation who are present here in this function. I extend my vote of thanks to esteemed Registrar General, sir, and the respected officers of the Registry of the High Court of Orissa, esteemed Member Secretary, sir, and his team, the Deputy Director and Assistant Director of Odisha Judicial Academy, and all my staff for their support and presence here. I also extend my vote of thanks to all the people who have joined us through virtual mode as this program is live streamed through the YouTube channel of the High Court of Orissa. Thank you everyone for being present here through virtual mode. I extend my vote of thanks to the members of the print and electronic media for being present here and for the wide coverage they have provided to us. I propose a vote of thanks to all the support staff and all the people whom I could not name, but who have supported us in all possible manner to make this program a grand success. Last but not the least, I extend my warm greetings to all the civil judges on probation, congratulate them and thank them for their cooperation. Once again, I thank everyone for being here today. Namaskar.
Thank you, sir. With this, we have come to the end of a magnificent program. May I now seek leave of the Honorable Chair to wind up the session. Thank you, my Lord. The function is declared closed. Namaskar.